I did actually end up wanting to
There, go
change
check.
one of my stats that we did from character
Yeah,
creation.
go for it.
So I took one out of presence and put one into strength.
Okay, that's totally fine. Great stuff.
I'm gonna be punching some people, so I need at least a little bit of strength.
Dude, that's gonna be like, there's one character whose arcane gauntlets are literally Vi's gauntlets from League. And it's really freaking cool. And there's one person, and I told them I would call them out on it the first chance I get, but get this, you ready for this original idea? They have a scythe that can also turn into a gun.
Well, I think I know what that one's based on.
Oh, gosh. Oh, what's this? Strange bag. Choose a number between 1 and 12. When you roll that number on the duality dice, you gain.
Oh, yep.
What?
Yep. So I'm going to be going through a lot of hope. Dude, wizards are awesome.
Wizards are awesome. What's the top one? You can perform a hard... Oh, I like this. See, I like how this is, like, built into the class rather than being, like, a cantrip you take. You can just, like, do shit. Oh, also, have you noticed the way the gold is calculated in this? It's like there's no, like, numbers. Yes. All right, let's put in the other... What else have we got? Evasion 9, armor 4... Also, guys, everyone in chat, how is the what was, I'm trying to think of what it was called. Oh yeah, how's the audio? That was the word. Skill now. Oh yeah, you're a vampy as well. Let me grab your vampire stuff.
I sure am.
Sounds fine. Awesome. There's no like dedicated place for it, so I kind of just leave it here usually. We have your armor. We have
the ability to roll a d20 fear die sounds fun.
It's yeah. Honestly, you're basically gonna be. I've been really enjoying the transformations. I've been really enjoying the transformations because it kind of adds a little bit more unpredictability. Oh, very heavy, so -2 evasion. Okay.
Yeah.
This is, and then this gets set to 9 and 18. 18, how much? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stresses. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Experiences. Alright. All right. What am I missing? Oh, yes. Now we grab
cards, I think.
the... Oh, yeah, it's starting on this. Let me see. What's in here? I'm going to delete the School of War from this bag because we don't need it. Then your spells.
Level 1 cards. Yes.
Are you searching through these cards? You can take all these out. Can you close these bags?
How do I do that?
Just escape or so. Like you're currently like searching them.
Oh, gotcha.
I just got to close the window that they were in.
I don't have any windows open, so.
Oh, wait a minute. wait a minute. All right. Wait. Maybe you can just like spam escape or something. I don't know if that works. Huh.
What if I? Let me try searching and then closing again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that worked.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just grab these for you. Also, by the way, everything down here is hidden from other players.
Cool. All right, come with me, Mr. Vampire. You get to go down into the hidden section. All right.
Oh, did you have the tiny... You didn't have the tiny pet, did you? It was another thing.
Nope. I have the untranslated book.
All right, cool. Okay, let me grab those because that's where your spells go. Your spells go up here.
All right. There's my book. of Ava.
Basic supplies, and then 50-foot rope.
I feel like I'm missing another one.
You had Book of Ava, and you also had Mending Touch. No, you had Book of
Didn't
Iliad.
I?
Sorry, you had Book of Iliad.
I thought I had Book of Iliad and Book of
And
Ava.
Book of
'cause I
Ava,
get
yeah.
3.
Yeah, you have those. And Mending Touch is your third one.
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. And then I'll throw these back in here in case you want more later. Now, what are we forgetting? Is that everything? Also, if you want, you can always... It's not needed, but you can always copy your background questions there if you ever want.
Gotcha.
And I believe... Oh, last but not least, I gotta grab your little... Make you a little Ivan character. Let's see. Ivan. Custom. And we load in the cat picture, which I apparently never downloaded. I just kind of saved it. Eventually as well, if you guys get or find art that you can use for your characters, I can always just replace the images. It's not really a big thing.
Sounds good.
Here it is. Look at this Ivan. There's dragging him over now. There he is. All right.
Perfect. Look at that little guy.
Let me just pull up, make sure that I've got everything in order. Given the best escort books. Okay, so with the Loreborn Society, by the way, would you? I do have some existing factions that have emerged since last time. Also, let me fix the lighting. And I was wondering if you wanted some of them to be... Oh, whoops. There it is. I was wondering if you wanted, if you're okay with this society either being... We've got 2 societies that I'm thinking that we could fit it into. There's either the Fallen Elven Society. Your character is an elf, so it makes sense, but they did fall a few years back. Or
what does that mean within the context of the world?
So, as in the Loreborn Society that you were in, the one that like basically, the whole shebang. We won't spoil it too much for the viewers, but the ones that caused you much turmoil. So we can either have them be the elven city to the north. It fell already, like in present day it has fallen, so we'll find a way to weave that in to your character's lore. Or there's also the desert clergy. They are also a Loreborn society, and they've basically been mining this large pit to the north and like uncovering ancient artifacts, and that's kind of been their kind of go-to. Or we can just have them be like an unnamed faction that's kind of out in the world, elsewhere. But if you choose one of those, it's kind of like a lot easier for me to tie into the world. But up to you.
Sure. Just as a refresher, when you say they have fallen, what does that mean?
Oh, so they were the first. They were like the D-Day location for the Gaia. Like that's where the Gaia first touched down and completely wiped out everyone. They were like the first major civilization to get attacked.
That works with the experiences that he has chosen as well, because he is definitely a survivalist.
Right. Awesome.
And so it works with his experiences if he's like from there.
Awesome. And from what I remember, so given the task, I'm trying to remember. There's a few things that I've just got to hammer down. So he was given that task, and then was bored, basically, low-key. Then there's the Grimoire, which is fine, and then the one that turned him. I know we had a really good idea for that, which is something along the lines of, I believe it was from the inside, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that we specifically had talked about it was either a past or present teacher that kind of helped that transformation along, or it was either going to be born from a failure of the task he was given, and that's kind of like it was almost like a supernatural punishment as well.
Right. It was like placed on him.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. In that case, here we go. We've got this. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, let me place a little bookmark there. And chat, remember, here's the disclaimer. I am DMing, so forgive me if I'm not able to respond to all of the messages. I am reading them, but I am also playing as every single other character in this world, so please forgive me. But let's do this. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our latest episode of Sora TTRPG. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, our story takes place on the floating landmass known as 𝕿𝖊 Isles. On this island, many different shards of civilization do their best to survive against the constant onslaught of an external threat known as the Gaia. From the northern tribes, which have settled in the northern tundras, to the desert clergy, which continues to mine deep into the island's core for hopes of acquiring knowledge beyond human understanding. And lastly, of course, we have Sora City, a walled, near impenetrable settlement, which houses the proud Sora Academy, that teaches anyone who is willing how to use living weapons known as Sora to battle against the Gaia and to hopefully take back their lands. Our story today starts off in the very, very north of the landmass. In a proud, proud city known as... One second, actually, one second. Known as Blue Morrow. The elven settlement to the very north. And for anyone who doesn't know what elves are, they're beings who have an innate connection with Chi. And as a result, it has granted them long lives as well as the ability to dreamwalk. They were known as the race that was basically humanity's greatest hope, at eventually reclaiming the lands beyond their little island. And this right here is the story about what led to their failure. Because within one of their grand halls, a man stands behind a pedestal, behind a podium. Arms shackled. People, a large mass of people seated behind him. All of them pointed ears, long flowing hair. There's an elegant grace about them. And on the very top, a large, more ornate-looking individual. Once again, pointed ears, long blonde hair. He seems to wear a sort of circlet on his head with a blue gem inlaid in the middle. He looks towards you. He looks towards the person in shackles and says, "Ivan, you are responsible for the destruction of a great treasure. One that was passed on to our ancestors since the first wave. One that we carried across the land. One that people died for. And what do you have to say for yourself? And at this point, everyone turns to you, and Raylis, I would like you to describe your character.
All right, so Ivan is a slightly shorter than normal elf, but still of average height. There's a sort of togetherness about what his looks would be. Like, every hair is in place, even while in shackles. He's holding himself with a level of dignity that seems unbecoming of someone on trial. And more importantly, to the crowd in front of and behind him, there is a sort of fierceness in his eyes that looks almost like he's insulted that he's on trial here. If he's in his normal clothing, it would be very complex with patterns, but almost it has a reflectiveness to it that makes you think that what he wears on his regular day-to-day is not just cloth. There's something a little too shiny about his patterned blue clothes.
Awesome.
But as he's asked the question, and he kind of looks around at the gathered crowd, he pauses for a moment, taking his eyes off of his accuser, mostly to look as if he's thinking to himself. And says, "It is true. Something of great value was lost today. But it was in pursuit of obtaining something more. Are we not all seeking something greater? Should we not be discontent with the knowledge that we have? Should we not be seeking more?" And with that, he returns his gaze back to the speaker.
The speaker looks at him. And one thing that you know is that the higher ups in the elven society, they are very much more stuck in their ways, right? More about preservation. That it is very much a new kind of form of thinking that many of them are trying to stifle at the root, and failing to do so as it begins to take a hold more and more. But you see his face begin to really kind of twist and says, "You would forsake all that has built this proud city for the pursuit of something which is unknown, foreign. Our ways are to seek knowledge, but not at the cost of the knowledge that people have already shed blood for. And because of you, hundreds of years, thousands of years of knowledge of the previous waves have vanished." And I want you to roll a knowledge roll with advantage. So in this, how you do it is you throw in your knowledge. A hope and fear dice takes the place of d20. And to do advantage, you would roll a d6 and add it.
Okay, so I do
that and then a d6.
I think I accidentally clicked my agility.
Nope. Oh, agility, yeah.
So knowledge, hope, fear,
and a d6. Yeah, exactly. First roll of the campaign. Let's go. Or of your campaign.
Okay, and then how do I actually...
yeah, that one.
Oh, do I just click this? There we go.
28 with fear, so I'm going to take that fear dice. Actually, I should only be on one, so it saves a 2. So, you know that in elven society, because you guys are so long-lived, it's a lot easier for you guys to pass on information. And when he says the first waves, you know, and you're one of, might I add, out of all the players, you're one of the only people that will know this, that the island as it is now it's known as, the year in this case would probably be, it would be about 50 years, so 50 to 100 years, probably 75 years. So 26 minus 75. So the year is currently around 950 FW, which stands for the 950 year of the 5th wave. The waves are important because previously, and also, by the way, there's a little journal you can use in here as well if you ever want, or somewhere else. Oh, wait, shoot. You can have an external one as well, but if you want to do quick and dirty notes in-game, you're more than welcome to use this.
Good to know. I'm already taking quick and dirty notes.
Cool. No worries. But yes, so the waves are this, it's like a migration of Gaia that pass over the island after a certain number of years. Around like every 1,100 years, give or take. Or no, it's every 1,000 years, give or take. And
so from an Elvis perspective, the fact that we are 950 years into the 5th wave means that we're
expecting
from like our long-lived perspective, it's really close.
Exactly. And elves in this world, they don't live to like hundreds and hundreds. Like 300 would be like an old elf. So, but still substantially longer than most other races. But still, that would only be like 3 generations. So like your great-grandparents would probably have been living through the aftermath of the previous one. And the reason why the elves are so strong is because they're always the ones to rebuild. They're always the one to pass on and have the knowledge. This wave sweeps over the island and regularly, like, I guess, wipes out civilization itself, and the survivors are forced to rebuild. And this has happened 5 times. And the elves are the ones that have basically always been at the forefront of this rebuilding. And they're the reason that the island itself has stayed inhabited at all. And so he looks over and he says that, what possibly could have warranted such reckless abandon? What is this knowledge that you chose to sacrifice everything for?
So he is definitely he definitely destroyed the knowledge through boredom, and because he did not he still valued the knowledge that was lost, because he does care about that.
Yes.
But on the same foot, he is a little too arrogant to admit that was the cost of him doing that.
I love it.
And so he'll ponder that again for a moment, looking around the room, and look back to the speaker and say, the practice of new magics is what I was seeking. And clearly, as we are soon approaching what would be the 6th wave of our existence, the knowledge of the previous 5 were not sufficient to prevent what's coming. You say that the knowledge of the past is what helps us survive. I want to live. I don't merely wish to survive.
You're one of the first people to... This is up to you. Now, you see that the guy is raring to go. And with this, I'm going to give you the option. Would you like to engage in a social battle, a social encounter? This would be like you.
Sure, that sounds fun.
All right, so social encounters basically use stress instead of HP. Stress is also used in other things, but right now, you place a very good point. I would like you to use... So this wouldn't be this is kind of a hard... Also, let me also very quickly put these around. Skill Knowledge Mastery Specialist. Here it is. So, you do have these abilities here, the Adept, as well as the Loreborn. So as you can see, you have advantage on your history, culture, and politics, anything that involves it. And you also have your, when you use the experience, you can mark a stress, and instead of spending a hope, you can, if you do, you double. You can mark a stress instead of spending hope to do double your experience modifier on the roll. So that is something to note. And it is now at this point that you notice there are others around you. To your right, you see a trusted comrade of yours, an old teacher, if you will, who stands as a witness to the trial and acts almost as a neutral party. He's come to oversee it, and he is trusted and very high ranking in Elven society. And on the left side is the one who, the original owner of the books, and the one that actually tasked you with transporting them. And each of these people you can reason with, and each one of them you can attempt to win over to your side. Some of them are obviously going to be easier than the other. But first, based on what you said, this is going to be a presence roll. I know you have like no presence, but you do have advantage.
All right.
And then you're gonna go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna let it rip and hope that it works out. Oh, that's not a great roll. That's not a good roll.
You do get a hope.
I will take that hope.
All right.
Where is there a place for me to keep track of it?
Oh yeah, sorry, right here.
Aha. Did I start with 2 or was
You start
that...
with 2, yeah. You start with 2.
Okay, so now I have 3.
So at this point, you say what needs to be said, and it's at this, and it immediately the eyes kind of the man in front of you start to squint, and he says, "Do you not understand? The people in the past have died to pass on the knowledge that the next wave might do better. What don't you understand about that?" He said, now he's starting to get like a little bit hot-blooded. Roll knowledge really quick. There's going to be a little bit of a potential. Yeah, this isn't really a history. Well, actually, it's history and culture. And culture. Oh my god. Well, you actually also, yeah, you pass regardless. So you get another hope.
Oh, baby.
And you understand that this is very unbecoming of an elf. The elves view outbursts of emotion as childish, right? And for the more short-lived species. So you do know that. You notice that very quickly. But now he's going to attempt to hit you back with that. Oh, that's a crit.
Oh, he crit?
That is a crit. So he looks down at you and he says, and like the words that he says like really like pull on your guilt strings. Like you know that like you messed up, you know, and it's like he's making it hard for you to kind of hold your head up high in this scenario. So you do take a stress.
Okay.
And you will make your next roll with disadvantage. Or not disadvantage. Well, it's usually with advantage, so it cancels out.
So can I spend the hope to use my experiences? Yes. Is that what?
So the way it works is when I'm about to tell you, so I'll be like, okay, roll knowledge or something. Then you can say, then you spend a hope. You say, I'm going to spend a hope to use an experience. So you spend a hope, and then you have to convince me why the at any cost. Gotcha. So there is a bit of a risk to it. So it kind of encourages people to only use it when they're when they think that it's definitely. Because I can say no, right? I can say no when you've still spent the hope. Yeah, I know. Go for it.
Okay, so with him getting a little emotional and tugging on his guilt a little bit, he'll kind of reply in kind, which is uncharacteristic for him as well. And instead of raising his voice, there will be a hint of sadness, which, again, especially for his former mentor, who knows him, would be very uncharacteristic of him. As his voice just lowers and says, "But what about all of those who have yet to live? How many more people must die through our lack of action? The bridge can be stable, but still need to be improved. What came before is important, but if it was insufficient, and it has been," as he raises his voice, "the future must be our focus."
Okay.
He's looking, as he says that last part, he's like turning to look directly at his mentor.
Okay, so roll this will be a presence, so roll presence, and we will negate the disadvantage from the crit and give you advantage again from that. Make a good point.
So here I would like to try and spend a hope to use his at any cost mentality.
Perfect. I will allow it. It's pass.
Because he's very much, it's almost like an emotional reply,
right,
to them throwing guilt on him, is him throwing it back, being clearly this isn't working. We need to do better.
You also do get your d6 on top of that.
Ooh, and that is a 6, which means I get a hope back.
That is a 6. Also, you get to add a d6 as well to this.
Oh, I did not add the d6.
Yeah, so it's
roll that on top.
16.
So 16 would have been the total.
Your mentor clenches his fist as he remembers that the phrase "what of all those who come after" is something that he specifically made sure to instill in you when training under him. And he kind of bites, you see him biting his lip, like he is like, you really got to him. Like this is a like you've known your mentor enough to know that this is a sensitive topic for him. Part of him almost feels guilty for this whole situation.
There would be an unconscious, like, slight upturn of, like, the very hintest bit of a smile as Ivan notices that, of, like, because he is a pretty arrogant individual.
Yes.
And so seeing that he is won over someone, it unconsciously makes him grin just ever so slightly, knowing that he's won over someone. But
and
he knows his biggest threat is still to come.
Exactly. But here's the best part about this system. You succeeded with hope. That means you get another turn. The spotlight is still on you. What would you like to do again?
So now he would direct his attention to the other side.
Yes. Oh, I will say, the guy, your mentor, hasn't been fully won over. He's like on the cusp of it. So he's still biting his lip. Then
I would still, with that kind of momentum that I just received, I'd kind of press my luck, I guess, with him. And building off that last thought of, we can have the knowledge. So he raises his voice to, not to be angry, but to like address the room. And he'll actually do, this would probably be seen as disrespectful, but he would probably do it anyways. He's actually turning to look away from his accuser.
That's crazy. All right.
To fully look at his mentor and like almost a little bit looking back to the crowd of people behind him.
Right.
As if he's trying to
like win over the crowd.
Yeah, kind of just win over the crowd. And so as he does this, he raises his voice to kind of address the group as a whole. And says, I would never forget the sacrifices for those who got us to where we are today. But if we are not building something better for after we are gone, we are not truly living for now.
Ooh, okay. Awesome. Roll again. I'm going to give you advantage again on that.
All right. So
That's presence.
Presence. All right. Let's see what we get.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty good.
Yup. So at this point, the entire whispers erupt from the crowd behind you. Like, people are whispering into each other. This is a very controversial take in the Elven society, but it is one that has definitely been on the minds of the populace.
And I should clarify, this isn't actually a take he fully agrees with himself, but
he's just trying to get out of trouble.
Yeah, his ego is not letting him admit that he mostly messed up.
That's so
He's trying
funny.
to rally the crowd.
He is a born politician.
Well, it's not necessarily a viewpoint that he's against. He does believe these ideas, probably not to the extremes that he is pushing here.
Right.
But he also knows how Elven society is, and so he either has to win everyone over, or he will lose.
It's kind of like he's purposely being polarizing to like force people off the fence.
Pretty much.
So at this point, there's a slam from the table here as your mentor looks up at the accuser and says, "The boy has a point." And now every time you successfully hit the accuser with something and succeed, he will now take an extra stress damage, as your mentor will back you up until he is convinced otherwise.
Excellent.
Because you got a hope and a success, you can go again.
All right, so now So with the way that this trial seems to have been set up, is it he has to convince everyone, or is it mostly he is like the social battle is against his
It's against the accuser.
I guess the judge.
Yes.
The accuser.
Now, winning over more people will give you more power over the judge, and when the judge feels like he is losing, or when his stress reaches a certain amount, he will no longer be able to fight back. That will be considered your victory.
Understood. Okay. So with this momentum, he will... No, if he wasn't arrogant, he would focus on getting the other person on his side, but he's got momentum. He wants to use it. So he turns back to his accuser. And we'll say he's actually going to try to he's going to try and appear to be the reasonable one now that the crowd is kind of like on his side, and say, as mentioned, something was lost. I am not trying to get out of my duty to replace that which was lost. I merely wish to show the value of something new can be more than what we have. And so he's kind of trying to appeal to that crowd sensation of like, I'm not trying to get out of trouble, even though he totally is. But by like, I'm willing to, pay it back in some form. That's kind of the mentality he's going with.
One of the things that as well to point out is, so while in his negligence, while he was bored, and he basically more or less was the convoy. So I guess just to fill you in on the job that he was given as well.
Okay.
He was being tasked with extracting these several codexes from. Well, he was more of overseeing the operation of it, where several of them traveled into what is known as the 𝕍𝖊, a large, almost living hole to the south, and several elves specifically, would constantly traverse down to find several treasures, and one of them discovered a trove of how should I say, books, codexes, if you will, several different ones, numbered in ancient Elven from 1 to 5. There are 5 in total, and these were the fabled. No, sorry, it would be 4 in total. And these were ancient texts, each written by the hero of their wave. So very powerful, very ancient texts. However, while overseeing the extraction of these, you caught sight of a small, I guess, you are very well versed, well studied, and you saw some ancient texts of very faded, almost faded into the walls, and you began reading it and reading through it until you found a slab that seemed a little bit off. And upon exploring it and like looking around it, you saw that you were able to pull it out. And hidden behind it was a 5th codex. One that was labeled as such, like it had the number 5 on it. However, strangely enough, it felt and looked older, more mysterious, more ornate than the other 5, or the other 4. And so while these other codexes are being brought back to the on the carriage back to the Elven settlement, and you were meant to be on lookout and making sure that they were all right, you were instead stuck in this 5th codex, trying to decipher it. And eventually losing yourself in the book is what led to the convoy being attacked by bandits. And the 5 codexes being lost. 4 codexes, sorry, being lost. So just to fill you in exactly on everything. So you do have this 5th codex on you, on your person, if you wish to use it as to help your case, if you will.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to keep it a secret.
That's.
I should have mentioned that earlier, but
he's gonna keep it. He's gonna keep it in his back pocket for now.
All right, cool.
He's gonna see how this latest attempt to kind of work the crowd goes.
Cool. Okay, so in that case, you're gonna roll for knowledge. Do you want to use an experience, or not knowledge? Presence.
I don't think the at any cost mentality necessarily fit the thing he just tried to do. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Perfect.
Hey, that's another 6.
That is a 6. Holy crap. Now, at this point...
Not a lot, though.
Oh, advantage.
Oh, right. Well, you know,
you're gonna need to get a 6 for this. No.
Well, I definitely didn't get a 6.
You definitely did not get a 6. So it's at this point that also let me just very quickly type in the codexes. It's basically their own faction. But okay. So unfortunately, the accuser seems unwavered. He looks at you and he's like, You spout all this nonsense. You even have convinced one of our high lore keepers to your side, but I'm not convinced. He says, you are... And he looks and he says, you're forsaking our ways. You're forsaking the very people that you try to pull to your side. Do you not understand? The waves are upon us. Maybe you have a point that we should be looking for. Maybe you have a point that we should be looking for new alternatives, but that time has passed, and it is time for us to sit and brace for what is to come, as we have done many times before. If we do not, then we will not have the knowledge to pass on. And he's now gonna roll to try to see if he hits you with this, and he just does a d20. Oof. Yeah, no. It hits you, and it's just like you can choose to just brush it off completely.
So he'll build off of that argument immediately, feeling that because that did not affect his mental at all. And then, because he's already kind of in an emotional state from the previous outburst, he will raise his voice once again and say, are we simply to be the cliffs alongside of an ocean, worn down through time, but never able to build on top of ourselves? Are we merely to just take the punches we are given and not press forward? Oof. And so he's kind of just asking those questions, and the crowd can definitely feel the emotion behind his voice of that answer specifically really got under his skin, even though it didn't stop him from making his argument, but that goes directly against his kind of at any cost mentality.
Right. In that case,
so I would love to use a hope for that roll.
I will. It's passed. Feel free to add 2 to your next roll. Oops. And you have advantage.
I clicked the plus sign twice instead of actually clicking the dice. Okay.
Let's do
this. There we go.
That's a fat roll. You get a hope. You get a big. Sorry, there was an S there for some reason. I just removed it. So yes, immediately your words hit this mat, and he's like, you're putting a very good point forward, and your teacher also speaks up and says, we are putting the lives of those who do not even exist yet above the lives of those who exist right now. He says, if we succeed now, as the boy says, we guarantee security for both ourselves and those who are to come. Yes, we lost that, but we lost the knowledge, but surely we have. And he kind of looks. Will we say that does your master know about the book? Because the argument. No?
He would know that I found a book.
Right.
I think that I probably would have. So when everything was lost, they're probably doing like an inventory of exactly what was lost.
Right.
And so his master definitely would have seen like him sorting through things, because he definitely would have been tasked as the part of the punishment to take an inventory of everything that was lost. And because this 5th book, well, at least from the way you described it, it didn't seem to be with the rest, so no one was expecting it to be of something super valuable.
Yes.
He probably would have, even at that point, because again, he's a pretty intelligent person. He knows that he like royally fucked up.
Yeah.
So even at that point, he would have seen this book and been thinking, this could get me out of some trouble, and so he would not have reported it as this codex.
So what I'll say then is, your master, this isn't implying the book. This is just a general statement where he turns to you and he says, you claim that we are to build off the knowledge, to not just keep it, but to learn and move past it. How do we do that? You look and he's ready to back you, but he needs to know that there is another path. You're proposing another path, but he needs convincing. You don't have to show the book, but you can try to convince him that something was gained from this loss. It wasn't just a you know what I mean?
Right. So with that kind of knowledge in mind, with the setting that you've described and how at least the elves are getting into the batten down the hatches kind of mindset for the approaching wave, it sounds like they, up until this time, they have been doing expeditions. They have been gathering new resources. What kind of cross collaboration have they had with the other societies and things at this point?
The elves are very secretive and very recluse. They don't trust the other society. They see them more as, how do I describe it? It's more like, we do all we can to protect all of you because you can't do it yourself. And they see them as necessary, but it's kind of like, do you know what it is? It's like playing a MOBA and being the hard carry and knowing that your teammates are doing their job. Well, they just need to do their job and shut up and let you do your thing. You know what I mean? And don't mess it up for me type thing. That's how they view the other races.
So then he would, and this is definitely going to be controversial then, even to himself, but almost as if he's having this like epiphany at the same time of the other races surviving for significantly less time than elves do and still somehow managing to rebuild and survive.
Right.
And he'll spin it like this. So he'll turn back to his master, giving a nod, understanding that he's being asked this question, and say, perhaps our kind is the one that has succeeded at building foundations. The others do not have the time that we have. They do not have the stability. They must survive through ingenuity alone. We cannot look to the future if we do not also collaborate with those who have less time than us.
The moment the word collaborate leaves your lips, the entire room goes silent. And even your mentor, his jaw drops. Not in a way that's immediately dismissive. It's more like he's shocked that you had the guts to say the quiet part out loud.
And so with that silence, which initially catches him even a little off guard, because he kind of understands the gravity of what he's suggesting.
Yes.
But again, he's kind of going through his own epiphany at this time of, as he's been saying the things he's been saying mostly to get himself out of trouble, he's realizing he's kind of right. Of if nothing else has worked up until this point.
Right. It's like a fake it till you make it moment where it's like, wait a minute.
So as he says that, he'll lower his voice again, because now that all the murmuring has quieted down, his softer whisper can affect more, and says, after all, if what we've been doing up until now hasn't worked, something new must be attempted.
And the accuser, before you roll, the accuser goes, so are you suggesting that by letting these books be lost and sold, that somehow we're inviting collaboration or sharing our knowledge with the other species?
He'll actually take that in stride and say, inviting? No, forcing collaboration. If we've become so set in our ways that we're willing to watch ourselves march to our own slow oblivion, we must be forced into a new direction.
And it's at this point that you're going to roll your knowledge. You're going to give yourself advantage. And I'm going to give you +2 just without using a hope. You can use +2 beyond it as well to add +4 if you do spend a hope. Because that was a really good argument.
Yeah. Knowledge or presence?
Presence. This would be... Actually...
Okay.
Yeah, this presence. This is... He's definitely talking with his heart and not his head at this point.
Oh, yeah. He's
oh my
coming at
gosh.
ya.
Okay, well, it was with fear, but
still, a 19's pretty good.
and I will say at this point, with your master's backing and stuff, the man looks and he says, you understand that what was in that book, those books, by you letting those loose, we could have used those to defend ourselves. We could have used those to keep our own people alive. Without those books, we are as equipped as the other species. You understand that, right? And yet you still choose to risk it all.
He kind of looks back at him and, in almost a tired tone, and says, they've survived without that knowledge. Why can't we?
The accuser sighs and says, I pray you're right, Ivan. For this, not just your own sake, but for all of ours. And a hammer is hit, and he says, case is dismissed. Get out of my sight, he says, as he wipes sweat from his brow, and he turns around. And you've just won the first social encounter of this entire campaign.
Baby.
0 presents is crazy. The Loreborn definitely helped. I think that made up for a lot of it. But oh god.
So he's intentionally not. He's holding in the sigh of relief because he does not want to look like he was just faking half of those arguments. He will give a knowing glance at his master as kind of like a thank you for the support, but also has absolutely no desire to remain in this building because he's probably about to get swarmed with questions.
That's smart. So you just let's say this. Your master does pick up on that, and he ushers you to a side door to avoid the crowds.
Okay.
And by the way, this would have been a very... Remember, the elves are quite advanced, and in their own way, they have ways of... It's gonna sound stupid, but they are dream walkers, and this entire city has many conduits that allow projection of certain aspects. So by sleeping or by meditating, they're actually able to tune into this trial. And so this trial is
big deal.
It's a big deal. So you've just sent like ripples through elven society by like, this is such a progressive way of thinking that both challenges the old and continues to like push forward and build off it. It's everyone's talking, so you know that like, hey, yeah, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, so he will quickly go to that side door. Now that like he's won, he is kind of realizing the implication of what winning actually does, and that's a problem.
Right.
Because he did believe some of the things he was saying, but not as much as he was projecting.
Right.
He was really just trying to get himself out of trouble.
I love this so much.
So this is a problem now because he has to embody the ideals that he just said, or else there will be hell to pay.
Right.
And he is kind of like as he's walking past, like time is slowed down a little bit, and he's not like hyperventilating or anything, but he's very aware of the implications of what he just said and what he will most likely be expected to do from here on out. But he will have those he will be thinking that over as he quickly exits into a side room.
As he,
hopefully to decompress, but we'll see.
Yeah, your mentor immediately looks and he says, "Go, I'll hold them back."
I will simply say, "Thank you," and with like a nod, as he knows exactly what "hold them back" means, and he is going to make haste out of the building.
And you hear your mentor behind is like, "Please, if anyone has any questions, direct them towards me." And he kind of, you see him talk and stuff, and he's trying to talk his way out a lot of stuff. He was a good speaker as well, but you know that he can only hold him back for so long. And
so with that, as soon as he's like out of
where are we? We're up here.
Eyesight of the crowd at large.
Yes.
He'll quickly wave his hand over his clothes, and they will start to illuminate a slightly different color. It doesn't do much to change his overall look, but for example, the blues will shift down to maybe a softer purple,
right?
Type of look. Just something to make someone second guess that they're looking at him if this event really, that many people were really tuned into this, just to give himself maybe an extra second or two of being noticed while trying to make his way back through the city.
So I will say for the most part, this works because a lot of people were in meditation, so a lot of them are still coming out of it, at least the ones that weren't in the room. So it definitely does help. And so I will make you roll. You're able to effortlessly kind of weave in through the back alleys and such. And it's at this point that you hear a noise from the side. It's kind of weird. It's kind of, you're kind of ducking, you're weaving, you're avoiding contact. Where do you intend to go, by the way?
So in his thoughts, what he has just effectively said is both disturbing to the society at large. It is a very progressive way of thinking, dangerously progressive way of thinking. And because he has said that with such conviction, he also knows that he's going to be expected to sort of try and live that,
right?
Whether he wants to or not at this point.
Right.
And so in his mind, staying in the city is probably not going to be his best move at this point. He's effectively gotten out of trouble, and he has more or less said, we need to go collaborate with the other races of the world and see what they know. And at least in his mind, staying within the because I'm assuming this is happening at whatever the capital city would currently be.
This is, it would be in the top left. This is the current capital. Remember, this map is in modern day, about almost 100 years later. So currently, this is the capital. This Sora area is still very much a fledgling settlement, as would the desert clergy. So you guys are like the main current capital in the top left.
Okay. So with that in mind, his first thought is to...
Oh, also one really quick thing as well is, see this big lake that's here?
Yes.
At this point in time, there is no lake. It's part of the city. It's like land all here, and that's all houses and buildings. So you guys were a big settlement. The lake is a new thing.
In his mind, then, he doesn't want to try and stay in this city with that big of a revelation. So he's first going to wherever his normal accommodations are,
right?
And basically going to try and pack up shop. And at least in the short term, he's not thinking about like leaving the Elven Society completely at this point.
He just wants to get out.
He needs to get out of the main area because he is also and this is due mostly to the backstory of like why he has the experience. Friends are a necessity. Is he is more accustomed to dealing with probably the less reputable elves of the society, right. And so if he doesn't want to be essentially hounded by what would be the primary, like the bulk of Elven society, for him being a radical, going to those seedier areas would be his first thought.
Right.
And so that currently he's heading back to wherever his residence is. He might write a quick note to his mentor to let him know that he has left to like a seedier area if we get to that point. But that's kind of his current thought process.
So I will say that he's able to make it back to his house because of the timing, because people are still waking up from their meditations, and so especially with the extra disguise, without too much effort, you're able to make it to your house. Thankfully, your entire time though, your heart was beating. Right, all it takes is for a few people to recognize you on the streets. Yes, so you're ducking and weaving.
He was very. As he was bobbing and weaving through the streets is probably where he wouldn't necessarily have been having a full-on panic attack, but time was definitely moving slower for him.
And his I'm going to assume that the entire time he's kind of clutching his chest, like it kind of tightens up.
Yes, very much so. Actually, he would be... he actually wouldn't be clutching his chest. I think he would actually be subconsciously have one of the hands on the 5th Codex.
Right.
As that is still his, if something happens, that is still the trump card that he has a plan to use that if things come up, but that is kind of his most valuable possession at this point in time of, look, I do have something you didn't know about.
Awesome.
Even if it, him being negligent is the reason why he has it. He still has something they don't know about.
That's good. Okay, so we'll say that there's a slam as the door behind your house is sealed shut. Your eyes begin to dart around the room that's familiar to you. Like I said, this is your house. You've stayed here for a number of years. Once again, elves are long-lived, so it still feels new to you, but you've been here for like a good 20 years. But it's at this point that as you dart left and right, you're looking for things that you can pack, things. You're also trying to think of like, where is it you can go? Where do you go from here? You're thinking, all this is just filling your mind. Not that one, not that song. That's not the song.
I was like, oh God, who's in here with me? Who's in here?
Well, roll instinct first.
Okay, let's see.
Pass, and you get a hold.
Dude, I'm doing pretty good.
You look there. So your lobby is set up like this. I'm gonna use the old pencil and paper. So here's your lobby. You've got a doorway here into a room. Got a doorway here into. I don't know why that one square is like not in the right. It's not angled right, but. And here, so this is kind of what your house looks like. And you look to your left into the kitchen area where you cook, and you see a few pots and pans and such. You look ahead to your kind of more leisure kind of living room area. Well, that's not. It's more of a balcony area. Not much there. This main area is like living room area, seating, a warm fire and stuff in the middle. Because this, I will also say, this area of the Elven. It's way up north. It's a little bit cold. It's chilly, but it's not frozen. It's just more like a little bit of a chill. But then the moment your eyes turn to your right towards your bedroom, you catch a glimpse of something, like a dark cloak kind of disappearing from off the corner of your eye, just out of your vision.
If I'm fairly certain that it's a cloak, I will. So you said it's specifically in my room,
Yes.
right?
It's also where most of your possessions are, by the way.
Okay, then the one thing that he would okay, so since he's already on high alert,
Yes.
and again, he does, now that he's had the entire kind of run back to his apartment to realize the severity of everything that he just said, he is under no disillusions that someone somewhere is going to have a problem with that and is going to take it out on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, he's also used to dealing with the seedier aspects of elven life. So if someone upsets you, they tend to do something about it.
Right.
So with that in mind, he will calm his voice and sort of stepping to the side here, trying to get a better glance looking in, and simply say, I know you're there. Come out now or there will be consequences. And he's subconsciously readying to defend his home should someone be in there who's not supposed to be.
At this point, you see I'm gonna make you roll first. Roll. Okay. This would be mental strength more so. I feel like instinct. You know what? Let's go instinct. Roll. Roll instinct.
Okay.
11.
Hey.
That is a hope, but unfortunately, it's not a pass. You see something that truly kind of shakes you to your bone. You're not quite sure, and you're somewhat frozen in place at the sight of it as a hand slowly slinks out from around here, just out of your vision. Around the door, it's like this white, thin, skeletal hand. Think like a Palpatine colored, right?
Okay.
But like much longer and elongated. Like reaches
like clearly
over.
Unnatural kind
very
of
very clearly unnatural, kind of curls around the doorway. And remember, like at this point, Gaia have not been seen on the island as well, so this would be like, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's a Gaia. Do you know what I mean? So this is like a new, like completely foreign to you. So you'd kind of see it, and suddenly you'd see another hand underneath begin to like, they sort of curl around the door like gently, almost like caressing the door frame. And then a third hand, for a split second, appears. But when you kind of shake your head, it's gone. And slowly a figure slowly pulls itself out of the shadows. You see a dark cape. You see nothing but a mouth in like a kind of soft, welcoming smile. But it's still unnatural and unnerving as it pulls itself over and says, Ivan, be still. I don't wish to do you harm.
Ivan looks genuinely shaken at what he is looking at, because this defies any, like he's probably aware, well, he is aware, as you said, of the existence of what Gaia are or could be, but he has never seen anything like this.
Yes.
And so as the figure kind of steps out, he involuntarily takes a step back. Almost not quite stumbling backwards, but clearly this has shaken him. As
roll
his voice.
Roll agility.
Okay.
That's a -1, brother.
Yeah, he's not great with it. Oh, that's a
18.
big roll though.
18.
18 with
So
fear.
quickly notices that the figure is gone from his sight. And before anything, he's able to duck. He just gets this urge and he just like ducks and turns around. And he sees the figure standing. The face that he saw is now standing behind where he was with a grin on his face. But the figure now, you see it now in full light, is standing like it would be a little bit taller than an average elf. So quite a bit taller than Ivan. And it looked like he was about to try to put his arm around Ivan. Like not in a hostile way, like a oddly familiar. Like as if he was familiar with Ivan, you know what I mean?
Okay, that is unbelievably unnerving to him. And whether
let me put him on. I'll get a. Yeah, carry on. I'm just gonna get a component to show it.
Okay, whether he's thinking about it or not, Ivan is going to try and blast this thing with the sum total of magic that he currently has at his disposal. The fact that it disappeared from his sight only to try and hug him and is just otherworldly. He is full and truly shaken. So he's going to arcane barrage this thing with all four hope.
Sure. Let's see if it hits. Also, I will say that usually I have people during this starting mission unlock their Sora. Now, if you want, I'm thinking we can either keep going with that, or since you're an elf and they're naturally in tune with their chi, there's nothing stopping us from saying that Ivan himself and most of their society would have access to their Sora at a much younger age. So if you want, we can do that.
Well, we could kind of do a split the difference here of this book that he supposedly has is well, okay, so actually wait, the figure is now behind him, right?
Well, because you rolled successfully with agility, you like ducked and kind of spun around, so you are facing him.
Okay. He will, in that case, if he wouldn't have Sora, he would have his weapons, which would be in his room. And since he did successfully kind of dodge, instead of trying to blast it with his magic that he has, he would try to use like the momentum of the dodge to like move into his room. And while his gauntlets would probably take a moment to put on, I imagine his staff, which would just be kind of propped up there, he would easily grab and attempt to fire off a blast with that instead.
All right. In that case, yes, you would be able to find it without much effort. You're able to use the momentum to slink into your room away from this character, and you're now going to roll a knowledge to try to hit him.
All right.
And you're looking for 14 at the very least. 14 it is.
Hope. I'll take it.
Roll d6. Well, you can roll 2 d6s and take the higher one. Because it's a traitor staff.
Okay. So 3.
3. The bolt flies. You grab the staff pointed at the creature, and a bolt flies towards it, and it doesn't even seem to try to dodge. It hits. You see it hit the shoulder of the creature, and the creature's blasted back, and you see like chunks of this black goo kind of splatter across the room. And the creature looks and says, "Ivan, I only want to help you. You're in danger." And it slowly kind of inches towards you, almost like very slowly, almost like a Dementor from Harry Potter. It kind of like inches forward a little bit. And it said, "You have my word, Ivan. No harm will come to you."
Yeah, he doesn't trust that for a second. Otherworldly things slinking across his floor saying, "Trust me." No. He he said a lot of radical things today. He's not trusted some weird creature thing.
The creature, yeah, the creature's gonna be like, "You're in danger, Ivan."
Okay. Yeah. If it's just gonna sit there, he's gonna shoot it again.
Roll a hit. Also, yeah, roll a hit. That's knowledge and duality. Oh, you forgot to click duality.
Why did that? Oh, I did. Oh, I did. Okay, knowledge. Oh, there we go.
That one missed. So this time, the arcane staff, you pointed towards the creature, and suddenly you blink, and suddenly the creature's in front of you, and its arm is just one of its hands is just wrapped around the ball of the top of the scepter, and you see the scepter just begin to power down.
Oh, that's terrifying. That is actually horrifying.
He says, "Do you still wish to fight, Ivan? I'm giving you an opportunity to make a difference." Its voice is starting to get like deeper. More kind of, I guess you could hear a hint of annoyance.
So that, I guess a question I have at this point is, he's currently a vampire, right?
No.
With his transformation? He's not yet. Okay. So I'm giving you a chance to make a difference does strangely resonate in his brain for a second there. And there's like a weird emotion that flashes across his face. He is still absolutely terrified by this thing, but there's a momentary hesitation of that terror, where the thought crosses his mind of what can this thing offer me? But I think in this case, I don't know if he has many other options from, because you said it's like draining his staff.
It's more just your staff has, it's the easiest way to describe it is, you know, like with a punch, like if you stop a punch before it reaches its climax, it loses all its power.
Oh, gotcha.
So it interrupted the casting.
So that line, I think, would affect him enough, given that he's not in the best emotional state, that he would attempt to like shove the creature off of him,
right,
and take a step back, and say, "What could you possibly offer me?" But if he's able to do that, the staff is still very much pointed at whatever this thing is.
And it starts to buzz again, showing you that like it's still working.
Okay, so he's the line of giving you a chance to make a difference does resonate with him enough that he would attempt to shove this creature off of him. So he's still like threatening,
right, to
shoot again, but he has paused for long enough to give this creature a
chance
to
talk. Yeah. All right. So the creature like looks and says, I seek to give you the power to make connections, Ivan. You've made a lot of enemies this day. I hope you know that. I am not one of them, but I am an emissary of connection. I am the embodiment of of humanity's wanting to be seen, to be accepted, to never be abandoned. You need allies, Ivan, and I can give you a means to get them. And I simply ask that you accept my blessing.
That's a Faustian bargain if I've ever heard one right there. He. So when this creature says humanity specifically,
Yes.
Is that still a term that is broadly referenced to everyone, or is that specifically for humans?
So one thing in this world is that all races are derived from humans. They've been changed in different ways, and so like you said, yeah, humanity is a broader term for all like sentient bipedal species. Well, not even bipedal, all sentient species.
Okay, then just like he managed to kind of radicalize people against the accuser, this creature's making a little too much sense for him, and he's not really happy about that. It's appealing to him in all the right ways.
Friends? Question mark.
But
you can make this a social battle if you want. I won't stop you.
Yeah, he probably would initiate a social battle against this thing.
I swear, your guy is just a social warrior.
Well, it's funny because he likes to shoot people with magic. He just doesn't have the opportunity. Let me tell you, if I had my book right now, I'd be hitting this guy with 66 damage. I have so much hope.
You do.
So he listens to the points this creature is making, and it said a couple things that very strongly resonate with him, especially since he is actively thinking about this. Yes, he did just he basically made probably the majority of the elves, if not an active enemy against him, definitely a social enemy of him. You don't get to say radical things and not have that come back to bite you. He's very aware of that. And he does have a very in-depth knowledge of elvish history, and so he's probably out of anyone, he's probably keenly aware of what could and does happen to social radicals in elven society. Especially in a society that is in constant fear of being attacked by otherworldly creatures.
Right.
So he will kind of callously remark and say, if you are a representation of humanity's desire to connect, you do not seem all that inviting if it is something that everyone is seeking.
He
As he kind of takes another step back.
He chuckles and says, that's because humanity in its essence. He kind of looks to his right, and you see like one of your mirrors, and he says, the human soul is when you really break it down. You see this weird kind of tinge of another emotion kind of seeping in. He says, it's a very ugly thing.
This thing is crazy to him. I don't know if he's ready to make a bargain with this thing, but
I will say roll your I was gonna say roll your presence as well for the social battle. Also, I'm gonna keep your stress there because he was stressed coming into this. Okay.
Let's see how we do on our presence. That's an 18.
But with a fear. So so you struck a chord with him, and you can tell that. And now, based on his rebuttal, he's going to attempt to hit you. He's going to be trying to... I'm going to spend a hope to activate his ability. I have fear to activate his ability. What's it called? When specifically talking about connection, he has, or when forming connection, he does have the ability to reroll once a turn. But it does cost me a fear. Okay, that does hit. And he says, it's a very ugly thing once again. And this kind of sense kind of shivers down your spine because it kind of like, you know that part of what he's saying, it's not that it's true, but it's like, it just sounds like it makes sense in like a bad way. So you do take stress. Kind of makes you question. It's like, maybe this guy is legit. Very slightly.
So as he's kind of like talking, Ivan is looking through his inner memories and things of like history of what this thing could be, what traditionally like has happened when the waves have come, basically scanning through history to see what his own interpretation of humanity really is.
Mm-hmm.
And in an effort to assuage this thing, we'll say, despite humanity being so grotesque, he says, as he kind of looks over at the mirror, we have always managed to rebuild and survive. And despite having made enemies today, I do believe that we can begin to thrive instead. And he's kind of saying that half to himself to like bolster up the courage to just start beating up this thing again.
Right. Perfect.
That's what he's going for.
Okay, so rolled hit again. Once again, you're looking for 14.
I didn't use the dice again.
So you're all good.
Let's try that again. Oh, just barely not.
You do get a hope.
I'm maxed on hope. I actually can't spend hope on anything.
That's funny. He looks to you and says, like you say that, and he pushes off, and then he leans in a little bit and says, "Yes, but Ivan, I agree with you. And I agree that you're the one to show them this. The people of this time are blind to the importance of connection, blind to the importance of belonging. The others outside these walls, they struggle while the people within it pretend it doesn't exist until it's at their doorstep. You can be the one to break this cycle, Ivan. You can change everything." And he's going to try to hit you again with a...
That's a pretty good argument against Ivan right there. That's a really good argument.
That is a 14 as well, so it definitely is a very good argument. All right.
Okay, so that was a very compelling argument against Ivan, which is shaking him. He really isn't liking that this creature's making a lot of sense, and will actually kind of flip the script on himself. And this is being said half as a mantra to himself and half against this creature, of saying, I have not fallen so far as to forsake the ground that I am standing upon. I will be the one to change the way things are, but it will be through my own power. And that he's gonna, again, that's half to himself and half against this creature, but he's unironically referencing the fact that he does need to pay attention to some of the stuff in the past. He does recognize that.
Right.
So it's not a great chance, but he'll I didn't do it again. One of these days I'll
1 + 1.
There we go.
Ooh, that's good.
Baby.
That is it. Go.
Fear, though.
All right, so he takes a stress damage and he kind of stands back and he's like thinks, and he's definitely he senses that his grip upon you is kind of loosening a little bit, but he then goes and this one is gonna unnerve Ivan. I know this for a fact, because suddenly roll agility again. Actually, this is just roll agility.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a
Once
17.
again, he appears behind you trying to put his arm around you, and once again you're able to duck around him. And you kind of like duck around him and you're like looking at him. He's like a desperate guy on the first day trying to break the touch barrier. And he looks and says, "Your power, Ivan? The power of someone unwilling to admit when they're wrong. The power of a liar. The power of someone who is trying so desperately to convince himself of the words he speaks." And like he says that with such a vindicated grin on his face, as you've kind of like, you can tell you basically walked into his trap. And he's gonna roll d20 with advantage. And that's a 21.
Ooh. All right, so
I will say, by the way, this is not a programmed loss. This is a winnable fight. Which is one side is just getting a lot luckier than the other.
So with that, because that hits him to his very core. But just like in the trial, Ivan just doesn't have that full level of maturity to accept that he's been wrong, and so it triggers him into being less afraid of this thing, and it's kind of switched an emotional dial in him where now he looks at this thing that has just accurately, by the way, called him out and says, "Maybe you're right. Maybe humanity is an ugly thing. But I am going to make it better, and you will not stop me. And I would like to use a hope on my at any cost."
Okay. Yes, I'll give it.
So he's now, because this whole interaction so far has been the creature kind of leaning in to him, and this is the first time that Ivan kind of like takes a step forward towards this creature, still staff in hand, still ready to like menacing it, but this is the first time that like he's taken the step forward to really try and put it on the back foot.
That's a crit.
That's a crit.
So at this point, you step forward, and this guy, he's like, he kind of sees that like this fire in Ivan's eyes, and he's like, he looks at you, and he's shaking. You see that he's on the verge of being forced away. But I'm going to make him roll. He's going to use one hope, because you did roll with it's a 16 actually. So you would have got another turn, but by using 2 hope, I can take Spotlight back, and I'm going to use another hope to so you, by the way, I will say, like, crit, just transparency, just to not take away from the importance of a crit. You've done double damage on that encounter.
Gotcha.
So it was a big thing, but I'm taking back the Spotlight, and I'm going to use that other hope to give him to roll to. He gets a reroll on this if he fails, so he's going to roll 7, and now he gets the reroll. Oh, and he's going to use another fear token to give himself +2 in the connection. Aesthetic connection, and that is a 3. And he looks and says, he looks at you, and he tries to whisper into your ear and says, "Yes, Ivan, at all costs." But you kind of shake yourself out of it. You had to shake yourself out of this almost trance-like state, and you see he's trying to play into your passion. So you can roll again. It's your turn.
So he would actually just take another step towards this thing. Actually, a stride, not even just a step.
All right.
He's confidently walking towards this thing and is just going to repeat the exact same words this thing just said to him.
At all costs?
Any cost.
Oh. Okay.
And he's going to try and use another hope on that because this thing has set him off and he is so ready to just show this thing what for.
15 with hope. Does hit. You gain a hope. You're up.
Does it look like it's trying to retreat at all, or does he need to keep pressing?
He looks like he needs to keep pressing. I'm actually... Oh, shit. Okay. I'm out of fear.
Then what he's going to do is he's going to point his staff and intentionally... he looks like he's charging it for the attack, and says, I don't need your power. Mine will always be sufficient. And the fear of seeing this creature isn't fully gone, but it's been replaced by this kind of overwhelming confidence in himself.
Right.
As he's basically posturing to attack this thing, and he more or less both literally and philosophically shove this thing out of his house.
All right. So it is now.
So,
yeah, presence again.
Let's see.
15 with fear. So you're so close to getting him now. He's standing back and he's gritting. You can see it start to grit and gnash its teeth side to side. It's very unnerving. He's very, 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 very close. And he's gonna look at you and he says, he's gonna try and says, it will be your power, Ivan. I seek to only give you the knife, but it will be your strength that drives it in. Don't you see? And he's going to use a hope. Add +2. Roll the d20. That's 16.
Ooh.
It's gonna mark his stress. And it is now your move again.
All right.
It's down to the wire.
The mental exhaustion of this interaction plus the rest of the day's events is getting to him. But at the mention of the knife, he will kind of smirk and say, a knife would be a coward's weapon. And kind of like as his final resort, he will discharge the staff towards this creature, intentionally not trying to hit it.
It's a fear tactic.
Yeah, this is definitely a posturing move.
All right, so you're gonna roll to hit here.
And yeah,
I'll say it's still a presence. Yeah, well, yeah.
I need.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Ooh,
that's a no!
5. I wish I could spend all this hope that I have, but I can't.
This is so sad.
Does
Okay.
my wizard stuff let me do anything? I don't think so.
You have, I think, a depth. You can utilize mark stress as spending hope and double your experience. Oh no, that's the opposite of spending stress.
I have so much hope, but I can't spend any of it.
It'll be easier when you gain your Sora as well.
Oh wait, actually, when I crit, don't I clear a stress?
Do you clear stress when you crit?
I thought I was reading that.
1 second.
Or was that one of my other class things? It might have been a class thing.
Daggerheart. Crit. Okay, tied on 12, doing max damage is cool. Critical damage. I think critical rolls are fine. Break system, severe threshold, Fine, 1 second. I don't see anything. I mean, you might be right, but I don't see anything off my notes right now.
Okay.
Crit.
I'll look it up after. Not a huge deal right now.
All right. Yeah, we'll look it up after. Critical success. Get the one little extra. Oh, they gain a hope and clear stress. Oh, yeah. So you do clear stress. Yeah, I found it. You do clear stress.
So I have 2 shots left.
Okay.
Potentially.
So he's going to spend a fear, and this will allow him to reroll if he doesn't get it. So there's the reroll. He leans in again.
Is this considered an attack against me? Out of curiosity.
I'll say yes. Yeah, I'll say yeah.
Could I spend 3 hope to make him re-roll that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right. One more time. Oof.
There we go.
Yeah, once again, like his presence is not scaring you. It's your move.
Okay, so this time he already made his he's kind of like warning shot towards this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that it didn't like re-advance towards him, again, he's probably overconfident by doing so.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just gonna kind of take a step back into his room, keeping an eye on this thing, but just kind of over his shoulder in a softer voice of just go. You know you're not welcome here.
Oof.
As like I'm done with you. You can leave now. And that's a crit. Oh, that's like an emotional crit too.
That is big.
Because I'm just so he's just giving off the vibe of I've got big. Actually, the actual tone that would come across his voice at the end of this, he fully feels like he's safe, and it's just I've got bigger things to deal with than you. As like almost like just hitting it back in its ego, because it went for his ego, so he has to return the call.
In that case, that changes a lot. That changes a lot of the story in that he hisses and slinks off into the darkness. Kind of sinks into his own shadow. And as he does, he said, "There are others that will accept my gift. And you will be one of them, whether you like it or not, one day." And it's at this point that, especially since we're pretty over time, we're not going to end it. But if you don't mind me speedrunning a few events.
Yeah, sure.
You begin to like sink back into the shadows. You're able to evade and stay in the outskirts of the cities, hiding amongst the rabble. You're able to fade away from the limelight of the people for one reason and one reason only. For some strange reason known only to you, your mentor begins to gain a following, a loyal, dedicated following. One that, using the values that you instilled in him earlier on in the trial, it begins to amass a bigger and bigger number of people. And it's almost as if overnight people are flipping to his side.
Well, that's concerning.
You immediately understand the implications. You immediately remember the voice of the creature that said others would be more willing than you. And we're going to say that at this point, you find yourself waking up in a ruined city. Your friends and allies around you either slain or transformed into hideous creatures. You have flashes of memory start to come back to you of your mentor and his followers taking to the streets, and strange growths extending from their mouths, from their teeth, as they begin to lay waste to the elven society as a whole. You remember fighting your mentor, trying to convince him to stop, trying to convince him that he's better than it, only to escape with nothing but a bite wound to your neck. You awaken, understanding, then you awaken. Not in the time, not in the year 950, but you awaken with the fifth codex floating above you, glowing. And you look around to see that the ruins of this city are not recent ruins. They are not the burning, smoldering wreckage that you remember from your brief encounter with your old mentor. They are overgrown. They have been all abandoned. There's no sign of your mentor, no sign of the elves as a whole. Part of you understands that whatever happened about several decades prior. And you awaken in a foreign world, fighting a curse that has been placed on your soul, with elven society no longer being a thing of the past. And that is where we will end your solo mission.
Okay.
Congratulations, you aren't the cause of it. Well, you're not the direct cause of elven society falling. That you were close. You were very close.
I was close to being the direct cause of elven society falling.
You were definitely the catalyst, but you were not the head vampire.
That's funny. That's funny.
That was, yeah.
I intentionally changed his presence to 0 because I in the concept for Ivan, I see him as you saw. He's very he's self-centered in a way that isn't really helpful.
Right.
He can say a lot of things, but he doesn't have he shouldn't have the same presence that someone who's actually good at, flipping people to his side. He mostly says he knows the right things to say them, but he doesn't often say them in the correct way.
All right, and he very rarely means what he says from the looks of him.
Well, he half means everything he says, and as he's saying them, he's like, maybe I meant this a little bit more than I thought. Right.
But I like Ivan as a character. I've decided to speed run. We were going for 2 hours already.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I think that I kind of like I said, there was many different endings that could have happened. There was but I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this being the reason the Elven Society fell. And now you have a rival to potentially hunt down.
Excellent.
Did you enjoy it? How'd you find it?
Oh yeah, no, that was great.
Actually, before we end,
definitely.
just really quick, just one last thing, just for my own note. How does Ivan? Just give me a rundown on how Ivan feels in this moment, just so we're not ending it too abruptly.
So as he's woken up and because at this point, right after he's woken up, he wouldn't really he would have a guess of what might have happened to this civilization, but he wouldn't know for sure. He would have his predominant emotions at this point in time would be confusion and a sort of, I'm going to use the word anger, but frustration might be better.
Right.
And then with this curse that's been placed upon him, which I'm assuming he would notice almost immediately of this thirst that he's never felt before. Given that this would have been in reference to his final confrontation with his mentor, the only thing that he can really assume at this point is whatever that creature did something to him, or did something to his master who did something to him.
Yes.
And so his predominant thoughts right now are, why do I have this thirst? What does that mean? And he needs to find anyone really who has any idea of what actually happened, because he knows that he failed in fighting his mentor the first time, but that's about all he would know. Is he won't know the true aftermath of everything that happened, and that to him is more pressing to know than anything at this point. So definitely some feelings of confusion, frustration, and definitely not feeling definitely a little scared on the inside of how long was I out? Like, what? A lot of very confusing things have happened to him in a relatively short amount of time of waking up. So he's
quite literally, we'll say this all happened within the span of a month.
Yeah, so he's definitely dealing with confusion mostly, and so him prioritizing finding a group of people that knows what happened is the first thing on his mind.
Awesome. All right. Well, in that case, we will formally end the solo mission. You were saying something before I cut you off about the game systems and stuff. How'd you find it all?
It's interesting. I had so much hope to spend.
You did. I think we completely forgot about the not this time quirk. That would have probably helped you out a lot.
But I am very much looking forward to using Arcane Barrage at max hope. I want to hit some for 66, please.
That's going to do a lot of damage. That's going to be actually crazy. Now, having said that, do remember that the most damage you can take is 3. Or you can deal is 3 HP.
Oh, I know. I just want to see the biggest number.
It'll be fun. It'll be very fun, dude. And what do you think of the story so far? I tried my best to incorporate as much as I could. And, like, it's I definitely had to take some creative liberties.
Oh, definitely interesting. I'm more looking forward to seeing how the future goes, because honestly, the way that we did this, it can go literally any direction.
Yeah.
So it's all, I'm excited, but that's like, to me, that's like the best kind of start is you get a sampling of what the potential bigger story is, and then you create the rest with the group,
the people.
Exactly.
So. And it'll be really fun. I'm going to be posting the first missions very soon. I know not everyone has done their solo missions, but I think just to be fair to the people that have already completed their intro missions, and that's just how it would be in the world as well, is people join the academy at different times. It's not a formal like year 1, year 2 thing. So I'll start posting. I will start posting the mission board very, very soon. And the way it'll work is people can sign up for it the same way I have the collab set up in the server. I'll post the missions.
Cool.
I'll post a rough time, and then we'll see who is available for those times. But yeah, thank you so much for playing, Realist. You are awesome. Oh yes, let's save your character. So what you got to do is click and drag a box. Like, look straight down on your board, and click and drag a. Here, look. Once I have to unlock this. Now click and drag a box to around your, so that you've got everything, including your notebook.
Okay.
And then you want to right-click one of the highlighted items and press Save Object. And then you want to name it like Ivan Level 1 or something.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, let's do this. This is going to be fun. I'll see you in the group mission, man.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And everybody, guys, go check out Ray. You're mainly on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Let's see if I can drop your link in the chats. Rayless. All right, guys, go check out Rayless here. Here's I'll drop it in the YouTube, and I'll drop it in the Twitch. And I will see everybody later. All right. I'll see you soon, Rayless. If there's any shout-outs or any events that you have, feel free to shout them out as well. But boom.
Not right now, but thanks for having me. I look forward to future sessions.
Same, man. Same. All right. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whew. And with that, guys, the sun sets on another solo mission. It's time for us to start our group missions, which will be happening very, very soon. Let's see if there's any of my other players that are in here. It looks like... Oh, Zach is live. Did we raid Zach already? That's fine. Let's go raid Zach. He's playing Urban Myth Disillusion Center. I'll see you all soon. Good night. And on YouTube, we will go raid Cozy. Probably on... Yeah. Let me see. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Don't forget to follow for even more Sora TTRPG. Peace out. Good night. See y'all next time. Did the raid work? I think it worked. Did it work? Did the raid work? Nope. Oh, 1 second. Let's try again. Oh, no, we did. It did work. All right. Bye, everybody.